So the Pocophone F1 metaphorically blew my bollocks off when it launched in September 2018, packing some serious premium flagship style specs for just 350 quid, basically undercutting all powerful mid-ranges out there. Fast forward several months and we're now seeing lots of leaks about the Poco sequel, unsurprisingly called the Pocophone F2. This handset could be launching on May the 28th, so basically imminently, but just to confuse matters, it may be branded in some regions as the Redmi K20 Pro. So what do we think we know about the Poco F2 ahead of release? Well, here are all the biggest leaks and rumours surrounding the specs, the price and everything else. And please, for the latest and greatest mobile tech, do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So first up, a quick recap. The original Pocophone F1 was released back in September 2018 by Poco, a sub-brand of massive Chinese manufacturer Xiaomi. Having Xiaomi's backing meant that Poco could design, produce and distribute a handset that offered impressive specs at a highly competitive price. The Pocophone wasn't quite a perfect handset, of course. That plasticky design is basic at best, and the camera output can't compete with more premium priced devices as you'd expect. But the power and battery performance on offer was simply sublime and beat 7 shades out of most similarly priced rivals. I personally expected the Pocophone F2 to offer up a very similar experience, just with upgraded specs for 2019. So the Pocophone F2 should once again come packing a fairly straightforward design just to meet that low asking price. Of course, hopefully it'll be a bit more rugged than the Pocophone F1, whose plastic chassis was looking more than a little shabby after just a couple of weeks of use. And if recent leaks are on point, then we should have a choice of 3 colours for the Poco F2 as well, your bog standard black and then also a vibrant red and blue, which would be very nice indeed. Speaking of leaks, Leaks has actually posted up a full spec sheet for the Redmi K20 Pro or Poco F2, and it seems to conform with prior leaks that haven't already been debunked. So for one, the Pocophone's 6.18-inch display will unsurprisingly grow for this new model to a 6.39-inch screen. And while the Full HD Plus resolution won't change, we might actually get a Super AMOLED panel this time around, protected by Gorilla Glass 6. And considering the Poco F2 is expected to retail for around €350, that's freaking nuts, especially when you consider that further leaks also suggest an in-display fingerprint sensor. And you can also expect very skinny bezels, as the screen apparently takes up a whopping 91% of the Poco F2's front end. That sort of percentage suggests a pop-up selfie camera, which again would be kinda nuts considering the suggested price. One of the highlights of the Pocophone F1 was of course that fantastically nippy performance, and the Pocophone F2 definitely should not disappoint on that front either. We're all expecting the Snapdragon 855 chipset to be packed inside, backed by at least 4 gigs of RAM, and certainly the leaked specs suggest that that is going to be the case. And I'll take this with a very hearty pinch of salt, but recent leaks also show that the Poco F2 might benchmark higher even than the OnePlus 7 Pro. Now if that is actually the case, then that means the Poco F2 must almost certainly support UFS 3.0 super nippy file transfer, just like the OnePlus 7 does. Now so far the cheapest handset to pack this super premium Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 platform is the Xiaomi Mi 9 at just 500 quid. So the Poco F2 could undercut Xiaomi's own flagship by a clear margin while offering the same slick everyday experience. Now previous Pocophone F2 leaks from back in the day suggested a 4000 mAh battery would be stuffed inside, and that certainly seems to be supported by the Leaks specs list. And as for the software, well, it will be Android Pie with the Poco launcher slapped on top. This is basically Xiaomi's MIUI but with a few nifty little tweaks, including, thank the baby Jesus, an App Store. Hooray! So far so really bloody impressive. I am already sold, but also we haven't even touched on the camera tech, which again, if those leaks are on point, could be very impressive indeed. The Poco F2 could come sporting a triple lens setup, including wide angle and telephoto lenses. Even the Honor 20 Lite here, which boasts 3 camera lenses on the back, does not have a telephoto shooter. And prior leaks suggest that the Poco F2 may sport a 48 megapixel primary lens using Sony's IMX586 sensor, the same as the OnePlus 7. Wow. Of course, software, as we've seen recently, plays a large part in the photo and video quality as well. So good hardware doesn't necessarily mean great photo and video quality. You'll have to wait for a full in-depth review to see how it really fares. So that right there is what we think we know about the Pocophone F2 ahead of the intended launch at the end of the month. And certainly, if even half of these leaks and rumours turn out to be true, then the Poco F2 could be one of the best mid-ranges of 2019 quite comfortably. But what do you think? Do you reckon these leaks are on point, or do you think they're a whole load of horse shit? Definitely be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below, and please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest mobile tech. Cheers!